So type 2 is the variable in the denominator. Okay, so we can use the same idea, right, to find a common denominator. As I mentioned before at the beginning, right, if you want to find a common denominator, you want to get the lowest possible. Okay, it's not always just multiplying all the denominator together. You just need something that includes all the denominator. So like over here, the 14, right? 14 you can turn into factors. So you need to identify the factors. Factor means they are separated by multiplying, okay? These are factors. All right, so let's take a look, okay? We'll look at an example. Make sure they are all factored first. And look at the denominator now, right? So for question A, the first fraction we have 2, underline, okay, 2. The m is a factor, right? N is a factor because they're separated by multiplying. And then we also have m squared and n cubed, right? The second one has 2 factors. Third one, we have 4, the m and the n. Okay, we'll start with the coefficient, okay, the 2. 2 and 4, right? The middle one has a 1, so 1 doesn't really change anything. So for 2 and 4, the common denominator is 4, okay? Now for the m, we need something that's enough to have m squared, okay, I'll use the green, right? M squared, and m. So we don't need to use m cubed, that would be too much, too big. All I need is m squared, because m squared, inside m squared, you already have an m inside, right? M squared means m times m. So it already has an m inside, so it's enough, okay? So you don't need to multiply the m squared and the m. Now for the n, okay? N, we have the n to the 1, right? N to the 1 here. And then n cubed in the second one, and then n to the 1. So all we need is just n cubed. Right? If we just choose n, it's not enough to include n cubed, right? So we need the minimum of n cubed. So that's our common denominator. Okay, do we have any questions how we get that? So it's different from just taking all the denominator multiplied together. So you cannot just multiply those 3. Okay, because if you do that, you will get 8, and that will be 4, 5, right? M to the 5, n to the 5. It's still a common denominator, but it's not the lowest. So that means later on, after you add them up, subtract them, you still need to do more work to simplify. Okay, so you just start with the lowest common denominator. So do not just multiply them all together. You need to compare, okay, one by one. So once we confirm the common denominator, we'll draw a long line, right? 4m squared n cubed. And then we compare the original denominator, right? This one, compare with the new one, see what's missing, right? What we need to multiply to make that. So Jenny, what do we need to multiply to make it become the new denominator?
Just the first one?
Yeah, for the first. Okay.
Would it be 2n?
2n. Just 2n?
I think so.
I agree with the 2, but not the n. Compare the n. What's the exponent?
Oh, it's a 3. 2n 2.
Yeah, 2n squared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need the first one, you can write 3 times it by 2n squared. Okay, anyone has question how she got the 2n squared? Okay, let's look at the second one. So for the second one, right? You compare the denominator, which is m squared n cubed, compare with the new one. What do we need to multiply with? Braden?
Multiply with m?
If you compare the m, right, it's the original is m squared. The new one is also m squared. The m is the same. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like these two, you compare those two denominator, the one with the arrows.
Yeah.
How are they different?
It doesn't have a 4.
Yeah, so to make it the same, it needs to multiply with what do we need to multiply with?
4?
Yeah, so we need to multiply with the 4, okay? Let me see. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Chris, you never left class. What do you mean? Huh, Chris? Why did you say that? What do you mean you never left the class? Yeah, Chris, you there? Oh, okay, okay. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, now you're back. It's fine. Okay, so times it by 4, right? So the top will times 4, 4, and then 2m squared minus 1. Right? And then next part, the third fraction. We will compare this denominator, right? The third denominator with the new one, right? Compare, see what we need to multiply with. Serena, what do we need to multiply with?
And n cubed.
The n, for the original, the n is to the 1, right? The new one is n to the cube. So it's still missing
N cubed.
Okay, let me write it on the side. Mn, you want to change it to 4m squared n cubed, right? So 4 is already the same. The m is missing one of them, right? It needs to times it by n. Now if you compare the n is n to the 1. How do I make n to the 1 become n to the cube?
By multiplying n cubed.
Okay, n times n cubed, what would it equal?
N to the 4.
Yeah, we don't want to get n to the 4. We want n to the cube. So what do we need?
Squared.
Yeah, we need a square. Okay, so you just count how many n, how many more n we still need, right? How many more variable. So to make it look like the right side, okay, we need to times it by, let me write it here. Okay, we'll keep it as a note. So this need to times it by n squared to make it into the new one. Okay, so the top will be 5 times n squared. Okay, does anyone have questions? So the idea is the same as having constant, right? Constant denominator, but then when it becomes variable, you have to compare the number of variable that's missing, right? That you need to multiply with. You have to be careful. Okay, after you get through this part, the rest is easy. You just expand the brackets. Okay, 4m squared n cubed. 3 times 2n squared, that will be 6n squared. Okay, and then expand the brackets. Negative 8n squared plus 4 plus 5mn squared. Okay, is there anything else we need to do? Jiawen?
Collect like terms.
Yeah, which ones are like terms?
6n squared and minus 8n squared.
Yeah, and that will become
Minus 2n squared.
yes, minus 2n squared plus 4 plus 5mn squared. All over 4m and m squared n cubed. Okay, so it looks like we are all done, right? And just double check. Remember last time from the last page, want to make sure like 2x plus 10, right? Remember this question? If we can continue factor something out, we have to do that, okay? If something else can be canceled more. So let's take a look, right? This one, there's no GCF, right? So nothing to factor. So leave it like that, okay? So that's answer. Let's box that. Okay, what else is missing? Elaine, what do you think? Are we forgetting something?
Restrictions?
Yes, very good. Okay, so let's highlight the restrictions. Okay, restriction, you just look at denominator. You can look at these ones, the ones in the question for sure, or you can just look at the common denominator because common denominator includes all the denominator before, right? So you can get it from the common denominator. So what's the restriction for this now, Waylon?
Oh, I got m and n cannot equal to 0.
Very good. Okay, so n comma n cannot be 0. So this is a part of the answer. Okay, the restrictions come from each of the factors in the denominator. But because the 4, right, is never gonna be 0, you just look at m, look at n. Okay, that should be a review, right? Restriction should be a review now. Okay, so this is if you get something denominator like this, okay, it's already factored. Okay, we'll write that down, already factored. Already factored. Okay, well, look at the question that's not already factored, okay? Denominator already factored. This one, the question on the right side. Okay, so if you look at the denominator, we have y squared minus 16 and y plus 4, right? Then you might think, okay, common denominator, that's just multiply those two together. Okay, it's not, okay? We want to get the lowest common denominator. So you should be alert, right? You look at this and then right away, you can see one of them can be factored more. So which one can we factor? Harry?
No, y squared and minus 16.
Yeah, how do we factor that?
Y plus 4 and then y minus 4.
Yeah, okay, this is called a difference of square, okay? So we have these denominator now, okay? So now you look at y plus 4, that's a factor, right? Y minus 4, that's a factor. And then the other denominator has the same, right? Y plus 4. So looking at this is the same as having something like, if I have a fraction like this, 1, let me put on top. 1 over 2 times 3 minus 5 over 2, right? The first denominator has 2 and 3. That's the red and green. And then the second fraction has the red. So the common denominator, I don't need to use 2 times 3 times 2, right? I don't need all of them. We just need the least, okay? So what should be our common denominator for this question? Amanda, what do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, how about the question above? If you have 1 over 2 times 3 minus 5 over 2, what's the common denominator?
6.
6, right? So because in the 6, it includes 2 and 3. It also includes the 2, right? So if you compare that with the question we're looking at, the 3 is like the y minus 4, right? And then you have another, the same, right? The 2 is like the y plus 4. So what is the common denominator?
Y squared minus 16.
Yeah, okay. Or you can just write out y plus 4, y minus 4. Okay, inside the y plus 4, y minus 4, it has the first denominator and also includes the second denominator inside. Okay, so you don't need 3 brackets for a common denominator. But make sure, right, you always have things factored out, okay, before picking the common denominator. Does anyone have question about this part? Okay, this is very important, okay? You don't want to just take this and then put it together and say that's common denominator. Okay, so we'll draw a line. Put our common denominator there. Okay, this is the red part. This is the green part. All right, so what should we put on the numerator now? Okay, I will let you guys write it out first on your page. And when you got something down on the top, you can raise your hand, okay? We'll check. Compare the original and the new one. The denominator, compare the denominator, and then you can see what needs to multiply. Okay, have you got it? It's not too hard. You just compare and write down what's on the top. Please raise your hand when you finish the top. Is there anyone who doesn't know what to do? Can you tell me? Then I can walk through step by step, okay? Okay, if you haven't got it, that means you are having trouble. Oh, suddenly all the people are raising hands. What's going on? Okay, Brandon, can you tell me what to put on the numerator?
Y minus 4?
You mean you just copy it down like that?
Yep.
No, okay, no, okay. Not that simple, not that simple. You gotta compare, okay? Anyone else? Selena, what do you have?
Y minus bracket y minus 4 bracket 4.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's compare. Okay, let's see how to get that. So let me erase again. Okay. So Brandon, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So first you look at the first fraction. Okay. Look at the first fraction. I'll put a star. Okay. That denominator compare with the new denominator at the bottom. How are they different?
One is missing y plus 4. Or
Really?
there's no y plus 4.
The star, look at the star, okay? The first denominator on the top, I'll highlight that, okay? Over here, do you see that?
Yes.
Compare with the denominator at the very bottom. Are they the same or different?
Same.
They are the same, right? So if they are the same, you don't need to multiply by anything because they are the same, okay?
Okay.
So that means the numerator will just stay as y. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, now we'll continue. Minus, now we have, I'll use circle now. We have the y plus 4. Compare with the denominator at the bottom. Are they the same?
No.
What's missing?
Y minus 4 or bracket
Yeah.
y minus 4.
Yeah, okay. So we need to multiply, it's missing a y minus 4. So the top needs to times it by y minus 4. Okay, do you understand how we get that?
Yes.
Okay, so once you get a common denominator, then you compare each fraction, the denominators. Whether it's the same or different, if it's different, you multiply by the missing part. Okay, the 4, okay. Now Selena put the 4 at the back. It's not wrong, but it's just that when we want to simplify, right? We like to have the 4 at the front. So then when you remember it's negative 4, that's going to multiply in. Okay, if you put it at the back, you might forget it's negative 4. Okay, you might forget to bring the negative into the brackets. Okay, if you remember, that's fine. Okay, so we simplify this. So Angela, what do you get at the end?
Like the final answer or the
Yep,
expanded?
final answer.
Oh, I think I did it wrong. Uh, negative 3y minus 16 over y plus 4. Oh, sorry, bracket y plus 4, bracket y minus 4.
Okay, hold on. You said negative 3y and then
Plus 16,
16 and then over.
bracket y plus 4, and then bracket y minus 4.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so over here it's the negative 4 that multiply in. It'll be y minus 4 y plus 16. Okay, y plus 4 looks right. Okay, you did it right. And then combine like terms, then you got it. Okay, so this is the answer. Of course, we are still missing what? Amanda, what else are we missing?
Restrictions.
Which will be?
Negative 4 and 4.
Yeah, very good. Y cannot equal. Don't forget to write the variable 4 and negative 4. So you get them from the common denominator, okay? So the yellow highlighted part. So you have two kinds, okay? One kind is the one that's already factored, like question A. Second kind, the question B is not factored yet, right? So you find the part that's not factored and factor first, right? Not factored. So make sure you remember to factor first before you write out the common denominator. Okay? We're gonna do 2 more questions below. We'll be doing question B and question D. Okay? So I'll let you guys carry on. Okay, step 1 is to factor. Okay, I hope you can see which ones need to be factored. Once you factored it, write out the common denominator on the side and then choose and then put it on the denominator. Okay, so I'll let you guys carry out. We'll finish B together. Okay, so please factor everything first. Yeah, first step should be factor everything. Okay. I think they should be both factorable. Okay, we'll check the factors before you get the common denominator. Okay, so please raise your hand if you already factored all the denominator. Okay, only 5 people finished factoring. Does anyone have question about how to factor? Jenny, Selena, Waylon, any trouble? Selena? Okay. Can you tell me what's the denominator for the first fraction? Selena,
2y plus 3, 2y subtract 3.
good. That's a difference of square. And Ivy, for the second denominator?
Uh, 2y minus 3. For, 2y minus 3 and 2y minus 3.
Oh, 2 of the same?
Mm.
Okay. So right now we have 4 brackets there, right? Let me put a color on it. 2y plus 3, let's give it a red. 2y minus 3, we have a green, right? And then the other ones are the same, so green and green. So please write down your choice of common denominator, okay? Once you decided, please raise your hand, we'll check. Remember, it's not just grab all the brackets and then say that's common denominator. That's too much, okay? We want something that's enough to include all the denominator. So please raise your hand if you have the common denominator figured out. Okay, anyone doesn't have no idea how to get common denominator? Okay, can I have Evan? What's the common denominator?
I don't know if it's right, but is it bracket 2y minus 3 bracket and then bracket 2y plus 3 bracket?
So just two of them. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see, okay? Anyone has something different? Marcus not here, right? Marcus has to do haircut. Harry, what's your common denominator?
I don't know. I got the same thing.
You have the same thing, okay. And Braden?
The same.
Same? Angela?
Same.
Angela?
Me too.
You have the same. Anyone has different?
I have 2y minus 3 times 2y minus 3 times 2y plus 3.
Oh, so you have two of the same thing and then one more there. Okay. Selena, how about you?
I got the same as the first one.
Same as first one. Okay. So a lot of same answer for the first one. Okay. Let me help you this. Okay. With this way. If you have trouble getting common denominator, you can try to change it to numbers first. Okay. As you can see, we have three of the same color, right? Green, green, green. So let's say the green numbers, green brackets, I'll call them, I'll give them 3, okay? And then the red is 2, okay? So let's say we have something like this, 1 over 2 times 3, right? That's like red and green, okay? And then the second fraction, I have 1 over 3 times 3. That's like green, green. Does that make sense? Red, green, green, green. So what do you think should be the common denominator? So then it includes all the numbers, right? All the denominator. Brandon, how about you? You look at the numbers and you try. What should be the common denominator for this part?
6.
6? Do you
Wait,
think?
oh, never mind. Wait, no, wait. I'm wrong. Wait.
Because the first one, right? The first one is like 1 over 6. The second one is like 1 over 9, right?
54?
That'll be too big. We want lowest common denominator. 6 and 9. What should be the common denominator? Of course, 54 will work, but that's too big. Anything lower?
18.
18, yes. Okay, 18 will work. So let's see how we can get 18, right? You look at 8, let me erase the 6 and 9. 18, all we need is something that includes 2 and 3, right? The red and green, for sure we need that. But then that's too small, right? Because inside 2 and 3, we only have 1 green. If I want to include the second fraction, we need 1 more green. So it needs a red and then 2 green. So then inside it not only has the first denominator, but also has the second denominator, right? So you can see 2 times 3 is 9, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 give you the 18, okay? So that's why we need to pick 18. You understand? Okay, so can you raise your hand if you understand the comparison before between the numbers and variable? Okay, so if you have trouble, if you're not sure if your common denominator is enough or not, you turn them into numbers, right? If they are the same, use the same number, right? Different, you use a different number, right? With numbers, it's easier. Amanda and Harry, Jenny, do you understand?
Nope.
Yeah, okay, raise your hand, okay, if you get it. So what should be the common denominator then? Selena?
The second one?
For the question. Yeah, second one, yeah. Okay, so 2y plus 3, that's the red. And then we need 2y minus 3 squared, right? Because we need 2 of them, okay? So we have the green there and the red there. Now the numerator, okay? For the first fraction, the 3y needs to times it by what? Waylon? Waylon? Waylon, are you there? Waylon? You disappeared? Should I call you? Waylon, please respond. Waylon, where did you go? Can you hear me, Waylon?
Hello.
Yeah?
I went to a washroom.
Oh, okay,
could you-
okay. Yeah, so for my question is for the numerator, right? 3y, what do we need to multiply with?
2y minus 3.
Yeah, 2y minus 3. Okay, it's missing 1 green. Okay, now for the second numerator, let's have Harry. What do we need to multiply with? Harry?
Y 2y plus 3.
Yeah, 2y plus 3. So you compare, right? This one needs a red, and then for the first one needs a green, right? Because each of the denominator is all missing 1 bracket, okay? After that, you expand, combine the like terms, okay? This one can take care of that. So you can raise your hand when you're done, okay? When you got to the final step. Okay, what's going on? Only 2 people, 3 people now? 4, 5, 6. Did you forget to raise your hand? Okay, let's check. Huh? So far 7. Let's get more. Remember the 2y is negative, so when you multiply in, okay, it's negative 2y, then multiply in. Okay, be careful with the signs. Okay, so Jiawen, what's your final answer?
And I got 2y squared minus 9 over bracket 2y plus 3 bracket 2y minus 3 squared.
Okay. You said 2y squared minus 9. Okay, square minus 9. 2y plus 3. 2y minus 3 squared. Okay, the denominator is fine. Okay, anyone got different numerator?
I got minus 9y.
Or minus 9y? Let's see. Okay, minus 9y. Colin, how about you? What's your numerator? Colin? Okay, let me see. Because he doesn't have a mic right now. Yeah, you're Colin. How do you know? How do you know you got wrong answer? You didn't say it. You sure? Amanda, what's yours? Numerator.
2y squared minus 15y.
Minus 15y. Okay. Evan?
I got 2y squared. I got the one to the right one. 2y squared minus 15y.
Okay, yeah. The right side should be the right one, okay? So you got minus 9y, probably the sign, right? So let's see. You should get 6y squared minus 9y minus 4y squared plus, no, not plus, right? Minus, right? Because it's negative 2y minus 6y. Okay. So if you have a, yeah, so I don't know how you get the minus 9y. Yeah, okay. You will have negative 9 minus 6. Okay. Now restrictions. What's the restrictions now, Jenny?
If it's negative, y cannot be negative 3 over 2 or positive 3 over 2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, you just get it from the denominator. Let me highlight that. So you can get it from here, or you can get it from the common denominator. Okay. Okay, now question D. We won't go over the whole thing. We just go to the point where you found a common denominator. Okay, so same thing. I'll let you figure it out. Factor everything, and then write a common denominator. Okay, when you found a common denominator, please raise your hand. We have to do this one. Okay, I know it's a bit over time, but you need this for your homework. Okay. Okay, first denominator, that's a difference of square. I'll do that for you. Well, you should already got that anyway. So 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5. Okay, Ivy, what's your factor for the second fraction?
Oh, oops, I forgot to turn my mic on. I got 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 5.
2x minus 5. Okay, looks good. Okay, so you can think about what color, right? Because we have something in common, right? Color, you can use different color. So what should be our common denominator? Okay, raise your hand once you got a common denominator. I can call this one the red, right? The plus 5 is the red. Minus 5 is the green. You have another green, right? And then you have 2x plus 1, we'll call that blue. Right? We have 2 green, 1 red, 1 blue. What should be the common denominator?
Can you zoom out a bit so we can see the previous question?
Yeah. Better?
Yep.
Can you zoom out even more?
Sure. Which one do you want to see?
The one above.
Okay. Yeah, it will be very tiny. Okay, all I need is your common denominator. What's going on? Only 4 people got a common denominator? The sun is setting already. Okay, what should we put for common denominator? Harry? Do you have questions? How to get common denominator? Harry, yeah?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
forgot.
What's your common denominator?
2x plus 5, 2x plus 1, and 2x minus 5 squared.
So we have total of 4 things. Like that? You want
Yeah.
square, right? So that means you have 2 of the same brackets, right?
Yeah,
So you're grabbing everything you see, is that right?
yeah.
Oh, don't you think that might be too much?
Maybe get rid of one of the 2x minus 5.
Why?
I don't know.
Not sure. Okay. Okay. You want something that's the minimum. Okay. That's minimum to be able to include all the denominator. Okay. Because if you cannot get the right denominator, later on you will have a lot of trouble simplifying. So same thing once again. Okay. I'll explain one more time with numbers. Okay. So let's say the red is 2. The green is 3. Okay, compare the color. And then for the blue, I'll call that 4. Not 4, I don't want to use 4, okay? Because 4 has 2 inside. We'll use 5. And then the green is 3. All right, compare 2 greens. And the red here. And then the blue is here. So this is like 1/6 and 1/15. Okay, so if you just multiply everything together, that will be like 90. 6 times 15, then your common denominator will be 90. But we don't need that big. Okay, so Harry, you try again. What number? Okay, just focus on these numbers. What do we need to put in here? So inside it includes both denominator. Harry,
Oh, get rid of one of the 3's.
so what do I put?
2 times 5 times 3.
Okay, so now if you look at the denominator, right? Inside the new denominator, you have the 2, you have the 3, right? And then you can also see the 5 and the 3 again. So it's just enough, okay? Unless you have 2 of the same color, like the top, okay? 2 of the same color in the same denominator, then that's why you need 2 3's. Okay, if it's 1 in each, you don't need that much. Okay, so for this, the common denominator, you don't need 4 brackets. Okay, you do not need 4 brackets, just 3 brackets, that's enough. Okay, so it'll be 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5, 2x plus 1. Okay, for the numerator, 2x minus 1 needs to times it by what? Angela?
Oh, sorry, hello.
The top, what do we need to multiply with?
Oh, 2x minus 1 bracket
Yeah,
2x plus 5.
2x plus 5. Okay, let me highlight, okay? Look at this denominator, the yellow highlight with the new one. What's missing?
2x plus 1.
Yeah, so that's what you need to multiply with. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, and then now for the second fraction, Selena, what do we need?
2x plus 5. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we are missing 2x plus 5. Okay, so after this, okay, you need to do the FOIL carefully. Okay, same thing with this. FOIL carefully, the top. The denominator, you don't need to FOIL, okay? The denominator, you just leave it as it is. And then remember, you have a subtraction in the middle. After you FOIL, when you collect the like terms, you need to subtract the left side with the right side. Okay, so be careful with the sign, okay? Otherwise, you will have a lot of mistake in the homework later. So this is just watch out, okay, for this kind. I think that's enough for today, okay? You can rewatch the video later if you have question or send me the message on Google Classroom, okay? So see you next week. Good job today.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you. Bye.
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 You.
You're welcome.